Yeah, like I know there's still cults today for sure, and it's just kind of crazy to think about the fact that somebody's just willing to give up their entire identity to conform to somebody else's.
Hmm. Criminology professor Christine Sarteshi has reviewed Didulo and her group's actions and have concluded that they are indeed a cult.
One time she had about 10 or so people who lived on her RV with her. And there was one day where they spent talking about many hours about why they dedicated their lives to her and what she meant to them. And what was so interesting about it is how sincere they were, how dedicated they were, but they were all wearing uniforms, which I thought was particularly interesting, like white uniforms. They had a white hat, they had a white shirt, and they talked about how important that uniform was to them, all the chores they had to do. And so to me, at that point, I thought this seems more like a cult than anything else. So from that point on, I would feel comfortable using that term.
And the more you listen to this podcast, the more it'll make sense. The COVID 19 pandemic was a long lasting virus that had heavy impacts on Canadians. Many of us lost family or friends to illnesses or were thwarted by it personally. During the period of vaccinations, citizens jumped to mitigate our effects and spread of the virus, ensuring a safer community for everyone. Although there is vaccine hesitancy in our provinces, the pros outweigh the cons. Many choose not to follow COVID mandates and blame doctors or other healthcare workers for the sickness. Some individuals or groups of people will take things too far. Ramona was a vaccine skeptic, and instead of just making one angry Facebook post after another, she took it a step further. Dedulo demanded all COVID 19 vaccines to be destroyed, aligning it with popular QAnon conspiracies to say, hey, this is bad. Her conspiracy group went out and handed out cease and desist letters to local businesses to stop following COVID mandates. These were given out to police stations, fast food restaurants, and even an elementary school, of which Ramona was removed from by RCMP.
I feel like I feel like that's kind of where it crosses the line when she's going into schools like that, and like depending on yeah, you said in elementary school, right?
Yep.
So like those are kids that can't that they look for guidance. They're not exactly thinking for themselves when it comes to things like mandates and such. So having somebody come in, declare they're the Queen of Canada and say not to follow vaccines like mandates like that, it's not the best idea at all.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times, Ramona just uses her followers to carry out the dirty work for her. One of the key differences in this case is that it was her herself and a few of her followers at this elementary school attempting to persuade the kids to change their mind about the vaccines and feeding them misinformation and propaganda that fuels her agenda. After being removed from the RCMP, her followers responded violently. They expressed urges to hurt healthcare workers or public figures promoting the vaccine. Ramona herself was detained by the RCMP and subject to a psychiatric evaluation after instructing her cult to shoot and kill any healthcare professionals vaccinating minors for COVID. Tadula was questioned if she had been under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and after denying those inquiries, she was evaluated and released, deemed not to be a threat. Her official request was posted on her social media, reading,
The attention of the Kingdom of Canada's military. I am Queen Romana Didulo of Canada. I hereby order you to do the following: intercept any and all coronavirus vaccines/bioweapons entering the Kingdom of Canada. 2. Seize. 3. Destroy. 4. Dispose safely any and all coronavirus vaccines you may find in the Kingdom of Canada. 5. Shoot to kill anyone who tries to inject children under the age of 19 years old with coronavirus 19 vaccines and or bioweapons or any other vaccines. 6. Search, confiscate, and destroy any and all coronavirus 19 vaccines and or bioweapon from clinics, private or public, all pharmacies, hospitals, government facilities, etc., etc. 7. This order is effective immediately. The Kingdom of Canada is a Vaccine-free nation.
That on its own is a lot to take in. Destroying all COVID vaccines, okay, and then shooting and killing anyone who tries to inject minors with the COVID shots. That's just wild.
Yeah, that crosses the line that shouldn't even have to be drawn.
Exactly. And this was posted on her public Telegram profile. Yeah, I think it was Telegram or Twitter account. Twitter before it became X. And it's just this is public information. Anyone can see this, anyone can access it. Thank goodness it was reported to police.
Yeah, like at that point you're just making threats and threats with really no evidence behind them either. And she obviously had a following, so those threats weren't unlikely. They were fairly probable. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And things only continued to escalate. Do you remember the convoy protest from 2022? Initially started to protest COVID mandates against cross border truckers. Well, it ended up spiraling into some kind of anti vax, conspiracy, anti government groups kind of shtick. Ramona and her cult joined the protest and received mixed feedback. She spewed her anti vax propaganda and actually burned a Canadian flag in the process, which a lot of people were not happy about. Now, during that same time, Ramona continued to escalate her cult's aggressive behavior. On August 13th, 2020, 30 of her followers attempted to enter the headquarters of Petersburg Police Station. Their goal? Complete a citizen's arrest for COVID crimes on the police in the building.
That might be the craziest thing I've ever heard. I, yeah, I don't know what to say about trying to arrest the police, but that's interesting. Also, burning a Canadian flag when you're calling yourself the Queen of Canada seems a little interesting to me too.
See, she wants to rebrand Canada as Canada 2.0. She says that on some of her royal decrees, which we'll get to later. And overall, it's just, yeah, why?
Well, like, don't fix something that's not broken, Romana.
Exactly. Now, the reason why her followers felt so confident doing those citizen arrests on the actual police is because she claimed military backup would come and assist her followers in their arrest. But no one came. Ramona, however, was parked nearby in her vehicle, giving her followers instructions on what to do. She claimed to be an observer and not a participant. Three of her followers were charged with assault of an officer, and many others were apprehended. Now, how could you be the Queen of Canada without a few royal decrees? Ramona issued 54 of them, each with extreme punishment if they were to be broken. Her cult group has created an online website completely accessible to the public, filled with their propaganda. Most of the links on their site actually don't work, as various videos and decrees are corrupted. However, the ones I did get access to are strange. One of her videos is titled Terminate AI Nanobots Smart Dust Nanites. Those who have had the vax/jab should listen to this nanobots killer video, to kill the nanobots they've put into the vax, You will notice, even if you didn't get the jab, that after listening to this, your breathing is much deeper and longer and your head is clearer, not foggy. And the rest of her videos I could gain access to have similar chilling sentences.
That is, yeah, that's very out there. That's somebody that I guess believes in what well, yeah, I don't even I don't even know what to say to that. That's just so crazy to even like